So the first time I did it, it was just about like this, right? The second time I did it, I was able to kind of go just a little bit farther, and your fingers just naturally go down there, okay, and here, but they kind of naturally go to a place where they can actually lodge and where you can actually get a fulcrum going, where you can start to bend it like this.
Mhm.
And the place where you grab is where your hands fit, because everybody has different fitting hands. And that's why when David started doing it, I think he started creating a situation where he'd keep his finger out, his thumb out. When I have gone in since the first time, I've gone in with my whole hand and I keep my finger here.
Mm.
So I'm going in like this. And as I'm going up, I'm doing this very gently. As I'm going in, usually it's not way high up, okay? If it's way up high, then I've got my hand in there, but I've only had to do that once.
Mhm.
It's usually just been to here.
Okay.
And what I'm doing is I'm going in and automatically I am taking the side of the baby's face that is most distal to the coccyx. Usually the baby, I know what somebody was talking today about the baby getting stuck right there. The baby doesn't get stuck there. The baby never stays there. The baby either goes to one side or the other, because they're trying to avoid this very sacrum. They're finding a way out here.
Mhm.
And so it's there that they sometimes do start to get lodged. And what you're doing is you're going in with this hand on this side. As you're going in, you actually start to extend the head. You could extend the head even more, because often what you're dealing with is you're dealing with an extended head like this.
Mhm.
You might be extending a little bit more, but as you're going, you start to go like this, inching it down.
Mm.
And then as you're going like this, you're just inching along. And then as you get farther along, to grab the head far enough that you can actually flex it.
Mhm.
By that point, you can start spreading out your fingers, and then you bring it down like this. But you could keep your finger out if you have very large hands. If you have fingers that are bigger, then you're probably going to want to keep this thumb out, and you probably can do that. But I find it just as easy to go in like this.
Mhm.
Keep in mind also that your palm is fitting on the smallest diameter of the baby's head, this little tiny thing, as opposed to the biparietal diameter, which is very huge. That's why you got a head down baby. It's a little bit harder to get in there like that, right? Because you're getting in with that full width of the head. That's the biggest diameter. But this way, your hand really fits quite nicely.
Mhm.
And so if it's on this side and it's turned this side, and sometimes you don't know. Sometimes you're feeling up there, and this like when you're going in just to see where it is, you're searching for the chin. And if you feel it's more on that side, then you go, okay, I'm going to go in with this side.
Mhm.
If it's more on this side, then you're going to go in with this hand. It's tempting to think that you go in with the other hand, because that's how we used to do the Marisol Smelly V.
Mm.
But what I found, if you go in with this hand, then you're already starting to do the rotation.
Mhm.
And by the time you get to the top, you can do the flexion. And then, okay, remember the perineum is still here.
Mhm.
You remove your hand before you actually have the baby's head come out. And then the baby's sitting there, and then you do the frank nudge up towards the pubic bone.
So I see you inching your fingers up
Yeah,
and walking the head down a little
Yeah.
bit until you get all the way back, and then flexing.
yeah, you're going like this.
Okay. Very interesting.
And you're moving it as you go. Yeah, you're moving your hand. You're just finding what you can get, what you can grab. That's what you're doing. Whatever you can grab, you grab it. And then you have enough traction there to bring it down.
Mhm.
So I've done it a couple of times, I think, just for a tight fit. I've also had to do it if I've had to turn a baby from posterior. Haven't always had to do with the posterior baby, but I've had a baby come down posterior. And so after you've done all the maneuvers to turn a baby from, so if it's posterior like this, and you've had to turn the baby all the way around,
Mhm.
as you're turning, often the head gets left behind,
Yeah.
up like that,
Mhm.
and then you have to go in. And so on one occasion that I had to do this, it was because one of the physicians it was at a hospital where I have privileges but not to do breech, and he had tried to do a Zabanelli maneuver when the baby had come out posterior to the umbilicus just a bit past.
Mm-hmm.
And so it had come to here, and he wanted to do the Zavanelli.
Mm-hmm.
And so he tried to do it, and it didn't work. And so what I did was I just, first of all, I wanted to figure out which way to move the baby. So I just tapped it on both sides to see which way it tended to turn, and did just a small bit of fundal pressure to see which way I thought the baby wanted to turn. So I knew which way to turn. And in this case, it was this way.
Mm-hmm.
So I just turned the baby like this, took that thing there on the hip girdle, then I came up like this with these fingers, came like this, but look at that head, see how that head ended up staying there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the highest one I've had to do, is I had to go in like almost up to there. And that was, I think it was right up there it gets caught on the greater sciatic notch there.
Mm-hmm.
And I just went up like this and then just did like that. And when it comes down, you actually feel there's like sometimes a bit of a thud. It's almost like a feeling of it's made it around this part right here. But usually it's just in the vagina. It's in the vagina but extended. And so you bring it down like that, it works. And if it works just like that, great. And I also tell people when I'm teaching them the chronic touch, when we're doing these simulations, I say, look, often it's just like you just need that.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to do the whole chronic touch.
Mm-hmm.